these budgets.
I think we're good. I'm just gonna throw it and we'll record what we record.
I respect that the budgets have gone up steadily.
Yeah.
It's not like a jump from like 50 to like
Right.
100 million.
What do we think Hobbs and Shaw was?
Well, let's start with Furious 7 because we just went over 6.
I mean, it doesn't look like did they put that much more money into Furious 7?
Is there any like crazy new cast
Wait,
members?
we went from Furious 7 went from 160 to what? What was Furious 7?
Furious 7 budget is, I'm taking guesses right now.
Oh, and Furious 6 was 160.
Yeah.
I'd say it's just about the same. I'd say it's like the only thing I could think that they spent more money on was Paul Walker's fucking face, like chopping it up, and they had to pause production for it.
$30 million though.
Did he die halfway through?
Yeah, and stopping production costs a shitload of money always.
Yeah.
200.
I go less than 200, but I'd say like 175.
Did he die? He died doing car stunts.
No.
Right?
No, not
died
a
on
stunt
his
for
own
the
time.
movie. He died. Yeah, it was not company time. I want to make it. Universal Pictures would like to make that very clear.
I think
It was not company time.
In a 911 Carrera GT.
He died living the fast life, but not on fast time.
Fair enough. Sorry.
So, what's the answer?
$190 million
Okay.
was the budget. Gross,
Over
however,
$1 billion.
what's it going to be?
900.
1.15.
Whoa.
You think 7?
700 million?
No, I'm talking about I'm
The
refreshing
movie,
myself with
yes, the movie 7.
Yes.
900.
I mean, it sounds like we broke Billy.
Yeah,
7?
1.15
Really?
is my guess.
It's not 1.5 billion. It's exactly 1 billion.
1 billion.
It's 1.5, baby.
What?
Whoa!
1.5 worldwide gross.
Wait, so
Yeah,
I
you
don't
almost had it.
understand this. I don't understand this. So, like, the people who, like, all the people in the world. So I understand Avengers.
Oh my god.
I understand Marvel, Avengers, like, all that shit. I get why that makes money. But, like,
This is the Cars Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's not as good. It's not as
It's
good.
not.
It's
It's a different family.
Definitely
There's no-
as good.
There's
and better.
nothing on the scale in
Sounds
terms of
good.
car movies that like.
But just the fact that they have made 8 movies
9
is
of them.
But it's not even about the cars. They
There's
don't even
8
actually,
main
like,
franchise movies and Hobbs and Shaw.
what?
Yeah,
Fast. Yeah, the Fate of the Furious is the 8th movie in the regular series.
Oh.
We didn't do the budget for that one,
Oh
but it
shit.
does exist.
Well, we can get to that yet.
Yeah, we can get to
We
that.
can get to that yet.
Yeah. FYI, Patreon. This is the after show.
the bonus.
Fuck. All right. Well, I'm gonna guess that didn't make as much, or the budget for that was not as much as
For Hobbs and Shaw.
no for Fate, whatever.
I think I don't understand is why don't they get more nerdy about the car stuff? Like the first movie was
Does anybody
pretty
need a
nerdy
refund?
about the
I
car
don't
stuff,
have to anymore.
I'm good.
Yeah.
but the other ones like it's just like the one that we apparently we saw 30 minutes of it, but it just doesn't seem very car focused.
Yeah, I mean the
3 was very car focused, obviously. because it's
Oh,
all
I
about
was
learning
so
how to
wrong.
drive a car at a certain
So
speed.
wrong. All right.
It went up again.
Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
Fate of
Bigger
the Furious.
budget.
But Bouger
Bouger?
was
215.
220.
I mean, they got Charlize.
Which one was which one?
Charlize
Charlize Theron.
That's number
8. This movie I didn't even know existed.
300.
Yeah, the Fate of the Furious.
$250 million. Gross.
Less than 1.5 billion.
Significantly less, 700 million.
Nah, 1.2, 1.1.
You're good.
Really?
Good. 1.23.
Holy shit.
1.2 gross.
I want to get into the film. Jesus.
Well, we're not making that money.
No,
No,
yeah,
I know.
Sandy and I in the movie industry are not making that money. But,
It has nothing to do
Somebody's
It's
with
making
it.
just
that.
crazy to me. Like, I don't.
Alright, I'm very curious about the Hobbs and Shaw numbers now.
Yeah,
Which was not a good movie, right?
It had merit, but, I just feel like The Rock's version of this has been subpar.
Was he in any of the other movies?
Yes, so he comes in at 5. He's in 5, 6, 7, sort of 7. He's in like the very beginning and very end of 7.
I feel like I did see 7.
He's in 8. And then the report is he and Vin just completely stopped getting along.
It makes sense. It's hard to have them both exist in the universe.
To the point where I was reading this article where like Vin created this system of like giving points towards a certain like physical hits that each of them, so they like he could tally up the fight choreography and make sure that they were getting like beat up the same amount.
I heard about this.
You hear about this?
Yeah. And
But-
they're not allowed to lose fights. And
Yeah, exactly. No one could lose more fights. Than
There you
anyone.
go.
It's like a whole bunch of like.
No,
weird...
I have more muscles than you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I have way more muscles.
Me too, we're the same height all the time.
Which is like.
I need 3 more apple boxes, please.
Somebody's got more
insults in my
muscles, but, like,
shoes. Stat.
Damn.
Obviously, The
That's
Rock
a real
has more
thing.
muscles.
Lifts are
Yeah,
the
there's
thing.
Who cares?
I've been
That's not
requested to
matter.
put lifts in people's shoes. No joke. This happens regularly.
You put what?
Lifts.
Yeah.
Lifts are legit.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
All right, Hobbs and Shaw. Bouger.
I haven't ever
gross.
really done anything like that.
What?
Like accommodated for scenery, accommodated for like.
I don't think it
We don't really fuck
falls
with it.
on
It's on you
costumes,
guys.
hair, makeup, and board.
We had a on the show I'm filming right now. There was one gentleman who was a main character in like a flashback, and he was very, very short. And we had to we just had to build something short. We weren't trying to make him look tall. He just had an action to do, and we had to build something a little shorter so that he could do it in a reasonable way. Yeah. So.
I mean, that sounds fair.
But if someone is actually very tall, like you have to make. I mean, I don't know. I guess if they're very tall, then they're gonna have to deal with the regular height of a doorway.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah. FYI, everybody, movie doors are 3 feet by 7 feet. Period.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that
It's smaller.
It's pretty close.
Smaller than normal. Slightly smaller.
why is that?
Bigger.
Isn't the standard width like 3? Oh, that's exterior doors. 3.6.
Exterior is 3.
Why? Wait, why are the
3.
measurements different from regular housing and stuff?
Interior doors are usually 2.8 by 6.8,
Okay.
or 3 by 6.8. We just make them 7 feet because it's fucking easier to measure out on a tape measure. I'm not
Less-
joking. It's
less
just like
math time
less
all
time that
around.
an expensive carpenter has to spend thinking about something, the
Do
better.
you have to? This is maybe a stupid or nerdy question. Do you have to be in compliance with like?
Building code?
Like
Yeah.
ACA shit? No.
Yeah. Okay.
All our stuff is temporary.
Okay.
We do get permits when we build stuff on locations. There are times when we have to get permits for like temporary structures to build on location, but nothing usually has to be like ACA or like weather. I mean, everything's like gonna come down.
Tear down anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it all goes in a dumpster.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Is
Yeah.
recycle it?
That's where it goes.
They've started to try to like say they recycle things, but
They don't.
Not even from show to show if you're using the same stage.
it doesn't really.
So real library. Okay, so set deck definitely gets recycled, right? So set deck is stuff. Like
Couches,
furniture.
lamps.
Yeah, furniture.
Because you have to rent that from a prop house, anyways, right?
No, it's usually so specific that you like buy it new, or you like
okay.
go to whatever studio is
Right.
producing your shit and you rent from them.
Okay.
Yeah, or like they just wrapped X show that shot in a similar time period. Can we just call them
Yeah.
and get maybe
All
a
the
bunch of
shit.
shit.
Hmm.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that happens a lot. And it's also like, sometimes there's stuff like Set Deck deals with like shingles on a roof weirdly. They deal with wallpaper, like buying wallpaper, and there's just some specific items that sometimes get like saved and recycled in terms of material, but not a ton.
Hmm.
Will library flats, and like sometimes the flats are flats, and flats are walls, by the way. Movie
Parts of walls, not full walls.
not full walls, just like
parts
Just
4
the
by 8,
drywall?
4 by 10 parts of walls.
that you put together and make walls.
They make a whole wall.
Whoa.
hmm
Wall units.
Yeah.
Because you don't have structure, so you have to actually build.
Right.
We gotta build a wall.
I
Okay.
built a wall.
So
We have window flats that have holes in them.
What do you mean they have holes in them?
for windows.
Oh.
We got door flats that have a
I
bigger
was
hole.
imagining like dowel holes, like anything. I was like, what?
Yeah. So, people keep like 4 by 10 or 4 by 8 flats. In storage somewhere sometimes. I know.
But if you're starting a new show, you're not like getting flat. You just build new flats. You're not like getting flats
Yeah, pretty much.
from
Why though?
because like if you're starting like a 9-month project or something, like it's better to just have your own flats.
Just knock them out, build them, put them up. Everything's custom anyway. I mean, everything is.
Right.
I mean, maybe we'll have some 4 by 10s, but everything gets chopped up and reused. You know what I mean? Like, just is what it is. So sometimes it's quicker just to like build it all.
Do you have to deconstruct?
Speed is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have to when you tear everything down? Do you have to pull everything apart 2 by 4 by 2?
No,
No.
they'll just throw it all in a dumpster.
Or saw it up. Yeah, if it's too big for the dumpster, saw it.
I mean, there's stuff we rent, like Speed Deck we rent, and other stuff.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
Translights we rent a lot.
It's a very wasteful business.
It is a really wasteful business.
But I remember you were saying from the show in Chicago, there was some repository of clothing somewhere that you were pulling stuff from.
Yeah, we pull our background stock of stuff that we care a little bit less about from whatever shows.
Inventory. Yeah.
For the show we just started is produced by Universal, and they have a giant warehouse of stuff that they get from wrapped shows in Long Island. So we're gonna go pull from there to get shit to just dress all the background people on the day, but all of our principal cast we're not gonna dress from that stock because we need stuff that's customizable, but also shit we can get 6 of if someone dies.
Right.
And unique to your artistic endeavor.
Yeah.
That's the other part of this that's sort of important, is that each television show, each movie is a unique artistic endeavor that has unique design associated with it, and the production design for the Fate of the Furious, right, is different than the production design from Furious 7, and it's all uniquely, specifically calculated and designed for
Do they get new
those
designers every
productions.
single movie?
I feel like they
But
probably it's based
depends on the-
how they did on the
yeah.
last movie. If they had a good relationship, they'll ask that person back. But
And the
it's
direct,
easy,
I mean, it's
yeah.
2 different directors,
Right.
and directors have
To
people
work
they
with
like
people
working
that-
with
yeah.
and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So, it's they have different ideas that they bring to the table, and there's different concepts and themes that they're trying to get across in terms of design, between those 2 movies. You know what I mean? So
Right.
different worlds they're trying to build. So that makes it hard to just reuse stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's you can reuse some pieces, but mostly you're going to be drawing from new stuff to create your new world.
All right, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Budget and
I have it loaded up,
gross.
ready to go.
We need to know. We need to know.
Okay, what's the guess?
Budget?
Budget?
Yeah.
Huge. 250 million.
3.
I feel like I'm just trying to think. Like what? There's a lot of VFX.
I feel like they put a ton of money into it.
I feel like it's around 2.
McLarens, you got all the London scenes. You have to.
I think like I feel like the cars they probably aren't actually paying for.
I
McLaren.
don't think
They're not like buying.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're
They're
buying a
new cars.
McLaren. So there's 2 types of cars, right, that you can get. Well, there's actually a lot of types of cars, but like you get a picture car, you get the real car. Like you rent the real car to use in the movie. And then there's like a kit car, which is like you get.
Exterior only.
Yeah, it's like you mold a plastic shell or like a fiberglass shell of the car and put it over something else so you can fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure they used both in that movie, but yeah.
Definitely.
I'd say 200.
Jess,
3.
Was that 250?
Nick's the winner. Exactly 200. All right. Well, the gross is
It's still getting figured
yeah.
out.
So,
But gross to date?
gross today, as of IMDb's info, is 331 milli. So they've already
Not
grossed it.
great.
Not great,
Not great, but still profitable.
profit.
Yeah. Which is the only thing that matters.
And when did this open? Like
4 weeks ago. That's bad.
What do we think
There
is The
wasn't- was
Rock's
there-
best movie?
Ooh, now there's a
Manny.
good question.
is he in the name?
No.
He's in the
I
Tooth
feel
Fairy.
like I saw. I
Tooth
feel
Fairy.
like there's a lot of publicity around like what was it, the Scorpion King or something like that.
The
It's
Mummy.
one-
That was his first movie,
Wait.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the Mummy 3, the Scorpion King.
What the rundown?
Yeah, Rundown's
I don't
good.
know
Sean
what
William
the
Scott?
Rundown
What's his name?
Stifler?
Stifler.
Honestly, Furious 6. The Rock's best movie.
Hmm.
He like went. It's so clear between 5 and 6. Someone's like, you should really maybe consider taking some acting classes. And he did that because he's a hard worker. I appreciate the fact that he's a hard worker.
True.
And he went and he did that and he showed up to film 6 and he was a lot fucking
What was
better.
that TV show that we were watching with him for a minute?
Ballers.
Yeah, not great.
I've heard good things.
It's
I wanna
Entourage
watch.
too.
Yeah,
So
but he's
Great.
like. He reminds me of my uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I should
I mean,
talk about if you're gonna put this on the YouTube.
maybe this is the fault of like
God, I'm
the
not
audience,
reading
but
this
like
article.
we don't normally like to see The Rock not being just a huge hulking man. We don't like to see him in roles where he's struggling, and maybe that's our fault. But like, it sucks. I mean, I don't enjoy watching.
I don't think he
Ballers.
likes acting in movies where he's struggling.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
Pain
like
and Gain.
yeah, he's good in that, and that's a good movie. I'll die on the fucking Pain Again Hill. The Michael Bay, fucking Mark Wahlberg Pain Again Hill, because it's a good, weird fucking movie. Yeah, Anthony Mackie probably like does a great job in that movie too. We you know.
I don't think
Tony
I've seen
Shalhoub?
anything.
Yeah, Shalhoub is great.
Wait,
But-
what's The Rock's best movie?
Yeah, I don't
Listen,
think
there's
I don't
so
think there's gonna
many
be a
things on the
consensus.
internet about this that basically all just say he makes so much more money than every other actor
Yeah.
and is the highest
Doesn't
paid
matter
actor
how
in the
big he
history
is.
of actors.
Really?
Yes.
That's surprising to me. That's very surprising to me.
I mean, he's been so bankable for so long. Like that's how
Since
you
the Scorpion
figure it
But
out.
like, how though? Like, Scorpion King was okay.
I mean, you know,
It
anybody-
doesn't
No,
matter
it's just not
how good the movies are.
Does it make fucking money?
Yeah.
But
Does
why
it
do
make
people
money
like to
and how
watch
long
him?
has he been making these like blockbuster movies?
Yeah, big ones.
And TV.
Yeah.
Double duty.
Ballers.
Wasn't he in
Ballers.
Baywatch too?
Yeah, that movie Baywatch.
The helicopter one. He's a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, God, well, San Andreas. Kind of good.
That's pretty good.
Kind of good in that movie.
Yeah,
Skyscraper.
that was a sweet movie.
Kind of good.
That was a sweet movie. There's a lot of crumbling cities.
Yeah, Rampage.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, kind of. You know, it's like his movies are completely comfortable. They're completely comfortable. He plays the same character every time. Like, these are not novel, like, make fun of The Rock ideas. I'm just trying to say, like there's value in that for people, obviously.
Right.
You know, like, to be there and know what you're gonna get. He's charming. He's like Charisma City. You know?
What's Rampage?
Giant mutated lizard and monkey and something
okay.
else. Wolf.
Got it.
I just hate that I have all this crap in my brain. I just really do, but I do. It's because of this podcast.
And Jumanji. The Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji, which there's a sequel to Jumanji coming
I
out.
don't think I watched that either.
I did not watch the new Jumanji.
No, I didn't either, but maybe
This guy is busy.
Yeah, he makes like 10 movies a year too. It's the crazy
He's
part.
working hard.
And that's like the thing. It's like really hard to like be mad at The Rock for ruining the Fast and Furious franchise, but I am. We'll see what Furious 9.
That's a pretty
looks
harsh
like.
statement.
I just am on Vin's side.
Yeah. I think I saw that The Rock is not going to be present for 9, but he's signed off for 10.
But does 10 mean actually Hobbs and Shaw 2, and then they'll do a different 10?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that apparently that stunt guy got out of his coma.
What
I think.
happened to what
think.
stunt guy?
Okay, so the article I read is some kind of balcony scene. I don't know. This is like pure, like, I just read a couple snippets, but like he was supposed to like fall off a balcony. The wire rig broke and he fucking fell and just basically like cracked his head off a very tall thing. So he's in a coma. British guy in a coma. He was like Vin's stunt double. And like is in a coma. But apparently he came out of the coma. It's not like he's not okay.
Yeah.
He has a lot to like do, I think.
Damn.
But yeah, he's alive.
Wow.
Which is huge.
Damn.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's stunt double got in an accident shooting Hobbs and Shaw?
No, Fast and Furious 9.
There's a
Oh my
9?
god.
It will be.
Oh my god.
I'm really looking forward to it. When does it
Wait.
come out?
So his stunt double got
2020.
into an accident and died?
Which is right around the corner.
He didn't
No,
die. He
didn't
went
die.
into a coma. And apparently he has come out of the coma.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
That is what I read.
That's good.
I don't know
How
how
many of
confirmed
the
that is.
Fast and Furious movies has Justin Lin directed?
4.
Quick on the draw.
Thank you.
How come they have different directors?
They're not always available. Plus,
Different projects and stuff.
many reasons.
Yeah, a lot.
So
I
many
mean, it's just like
reasons.
Rob Cohen directed the first one, I think, and I don't know if it was like it's either the studio's like we want to go in a different direction, we want a different person, or like they offer it to Rob and Rob's like I want to go in a different direction. And just
Yeah.
like it's just like
May 22, 2020.
2020. Fuck, it's so long.
It's not long from now. May. That's
They just released the 8th one.
Oh, that's this
Yes.
coming May.
yeah, months from now.
Maybe I'll fly back. Maybe we'll meet in LA.
Wait, when do you leave?
September 23rd.
Whoa.
What? That's like next month.
Yeah, it's in a month from now.
Wait, I thought this job goes through October.
It does, but I'm leaving early.
Benji, are you going to come back for another thing? Or it's like totally TBD.
Totally. DVD.
Totally DVD.
Sayonara, suckers.
Wow.
Hot dogs.
Hot
That's what she
dogs.
said
I'm gonna
last
sell hot dogs in New
That's
Zealand.
what she said last
I'm gonna
time.
be the hot dog king in New Zealand.
HDK.
Sandy
Oh.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
Drifting that cart around.
Yeah.
Oh
With like flames coming, you press the button, it's like.
The music in that one was great.
So good.
Yeah.
Every song.
So Lynn directed.
Barracuda.
Yeah, the hey! Yeah. My life be like ooh, ooh, my life be like. That was Bridget Santinella's favorite song.
Oh, Bridget. Where is she now?
Amazing question. Her and Alison Mantia, I don't know.
Alison Mantia, I still like follow. I don't know if I ever followed Bridget, but Alison's doing great.
Good.
Yeah, I think she's engaged to this dude they were. I don't know what.
Lynn directed 3, 4, 5, 6.
Lynn.
Justin Lin.
Oh. I was thinking Lynn, and I was like, interesting. I don't know this female director of the Fast and Furious series.
Did they have a female director? No.
No way. With
Is
that
9 being directed by a woman?
I don't think so, but I heard that
This is where we all look into the camera.
Michelle Rodriguez was taking the stand. She was like, "Yo, women are represented terribly
In these movies.
That is one thing I did really notice this time around. I was like, come on.
But that's been,
Well,
that's been
Mia
the first movie.
is the worst example of this, right? Like Mia, my friend Crockett has this thing that's like, I can't take credit for it, even though sometimes I do. It's just like poorly written female characters are either nags or saints, right? It's like, and Mia is like the epitome of the saint, right? She just is like so selfless and just like
And she's
works
kind
her
of a nag,
trying to do
too,
her
though.
studies,
trying to get groceries all the time.
She's always pouting, and then she's like, oh,
Cleaning
I'm pregnant.
wounds.
I think that was the first time that I watched a Fast and Furious movie with y'all.
Yeah.
That was my first comment because I was like,
Yeah.
I had not actually seen a movie where it was just like all about like, you know, the tits out and
Yeah.
the like.
Yeah, there's like the
showmanship
TNA,
or
there's the
whatever.
TNA stuff, and the TNA stuff is bad,
That's
but
kind
it's kind of
part
like
of the car
just
culture, though. Like that
By whose standards though?
by the import.
to me
car-
that's like
car
less
show standards.
to me, and like my obviously like my opinion is not the end all be all, but like to me the TNA stuff is like way less of an offender than like Mia's, like the representation of Mia's character and like how
Is Mia
Just
Don's
sister,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Dom.
Yeah, not Don.
Dom.
Donald Toretto. Donald Toretto. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's more harmful to like whatever character development and legitimacy of
Like having
a role.
such a
Yeah.
like nothing
right,
character.
but
Like Letty is
Like,
the
so
only important female character.
Not only the only female character basically.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's developed in any way.
Beyond being like an accessory to some
To
other person.
Right.
But what about Ava
And
Mendes?
she's still kind of an
And number
accessory.
one.
number 2.
TBH. They kill her.
But Ava, I mean, Ava is there to be ogled by Paul Walker.
Of course,
Right?
of
Like,
course.
that
She
is
is-
her reason for being there.
Of course. But
And for Tyrese to, like, make jokes about. But,
Where's Tyrese?
sure. But she's
Does
actually the
Tyrese come
person
back in later,
who
like
Oh
Yes.
yes, he's
Like,
in all the
tries to,
all
like,
the
save
ones
the day.
later. Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Like she is in that movie. She is.
She
the
does save the
savior
day.
of the whole shit.
yeah, she sticks a shotgun in Carteron's face.
And she also like goes to warn them that you're gonna die, blah blah blah, and like
They
puts
need
her
to
life
put her
out
in
on
the
the
car
line
and
and
bring her
like.
back.
That's the fucking deal. Get in the fucking cars,
Get her in a
ladies.
car.
You know what I
She
mean?
doesn't
Like,
drive.
let's get some ladies in the fucking cars in these movies.
But they are in the cars. They just like the only shot that they ever show is like some chick who's like this kind of thing, and then that's
Talking about
it.
Suki?
And,
We like Suki.
yeah, and
Yeah, we like
what's her
Suki.
name? The sister in
Mia,
this movie.
in
Yeah,
this
And right at the very
Yeah.
end, you see one shot of Mia sort of driving. But like back in 1, when Mia actually drives a car, right? And we have like a scene that's like a heartfelt, interesting scene where Mia describes like her life and shares her fears with Paul Walker and is driving. We actually get a piece of like Mia, right? We actually like get some fucking character development. We have her do something. We have her like have a life experience, right?
She does like a risky peel out.
Yeah, and like she like scares Brian, right? Which is like a nice, sweet moment. It is. It is because like he's so cool and confident in the cars, but when she's driving, he's like a little nervous, which is like
I don't think
beautiful.
that's beautiful. I think that is very much a like men not trusting women as drivers.
Oh, I've never read the scene that way.
Yeah,
I have never read the scene that way. I've always read it as just like she's just so good at driving,
and he's so intimidated by her that he's
But do they actually carry that story that she is so good and that she...
No, they drop it. That's what's like frustrating about her
but
character.
That's why I think
they
that
totally
it's more
drop
about like, oh well, like who's a crazy lady driving, like super stereotypical.
I have to rewatch the scene.
Yeah, go back and watch one.
I cannot comment at this time.
It's a good scene, but like, you know, they gave her nothing to do.
Yeah.
But
Except
carry groceries into the
she
store.
carries
They get
fucking
fucked on the
groceries and
counter.
she like fixes a wound. And then in 5, she's like on the radio, like doing radio stuff.
But she's not even in the country, isn't she? In a safe island somewhere.
No, yeah, she's in. I think that's still in country though, isn't it? Or did they fly her somewhere else?
I don't remember where it ended up.
Me neither.
But I brought it up because Michelle Rodriguez, I think, she's like, I don't really want to come back to this series unless you guys sort of like do a better job at putting.
They should.
And
She's
like,
also really
and have
cool.
the lady
Like, I like
director.
her.
Yeah.
We've been saying this for a long time that like they just need better fucking female characters in this movie. Letty is not only the best female character in this movie, she's the best fucking character in these movies. Like a lot of the time, she's like. Obviously, Michelle is like a good actress. Like in reality, she's comfortable in the car. She's like fun to watch. She does this like the stunt. Her fight scenes are always good. She's just like a well-defined, like she's a well-developed character, basically. I don't think she wasn't for a little bit, but at this point, I think she has become one.
My mind just went to Blue Crush because she's in that movie,
and
I think that movie was really, really, really good because
confused that with Deep Blue Sea.
Different movies.
Yeah,
very different movie.
But Blue Crush.
But it was a really good movie, and like it was.
It's about surfers. Yes.
It's about surfers. It's about women who are competitive in a very, very dangerous extreme sport environment and trying to be the best and there is a bit of like men versus women thing, but the men take a back seat. The men take a back seat, and I think that's really, really
I'd be
cool.
really into that as a Tooniverse kind of thing.
Really
We'll put it out there for Stephanie to vote on. She's
the one.
She gets to choose.
But I think that's really cool, and like
I like that movie.
Yeah, I mean, like that. The story arc or whatever of Blue Crush to me is very similar to the story arc of the Fast and the Furious.
Isn't there like excessive harpoon use in that movie?
No.
Are you thinking
Are you
of Deep
thinking
Blue
about
Sea?
You are thinking of Deep Blue Sea.
Excessive harpoon use.
Well, like to your point, like put a woman in the driving seat, like actually like not just a woman versus a man, but like have women leading the actual heist or whatever the actual story is.
Yeah, I'm down. Please, for the love of fucking God, please.
Well, you think they're gonna do like an Ocean's 8 type?
No, I don't think they're gonna do that.
That's such garbage.
Yeah, I don't. Well, first of all, Ocean's 8 was kind of a fun movie.
It's funny.
Yeah, I was like,
Come on. Got Rihanna, Aquafina.
So I actually
Aquafina's
had a
great.
huge. Aquafina's great. I had a huge problem with Rihanna's character being that like either she was uncomfortable as an actress, which I find hard to believe, or I don't know though, right? Because she's a performer, but she's a performer.
Acting is a whole different ball
bag.
game. Different ball game. You can't just show up to the concert whenever the fuck you want. You gotta,
Also,
like,
you're not yourself, right? So the whole deal they talk about is like being comfortable. You have to relax. You are an actor. When you act a character, you have to be the person. Like I'm relaxed with you guys, right? Because like I'm myself. I like know who I am. talk, we have a conversation, whatever. Like when you can relax as the character, right, as the person, then it's like starts to feel real and starts to like become a thing, right? But like when you are tight, when you like, it obviously harms the performance. Right? And when she's on stage, she's just
Different.
she's different. She's relaxed. She knows what she's doing. She's relaxed. She is herself.
It didn't bother me. I felt like
No,
there were like some issues with the movie, but overall, beautiful spectacle.
Sandra.
Hello, Sandy.
Hello.
Sandy is what she prefers to go by.
Is it true?
Yeah, she goes by, everyone
No,
calls her
Sandy
Sandy.
Bullock?
Sandy Bullock.
Oh,
Ah.
my bad.
Have you worked with her?
No, I just, no.
Dream.
Sandy is no.
Would you call if she came in for a fitting?
I'd be like, Sandy!
Sandy!
I didn't think it was a
She's
horrible
incredible.
movie. I just felt like it was very much like. Okay, same problem with this movie as I had with the last scenes of the Avengers Endgame movie, where they were like, "Women unite" and blah 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 blah, and like.
Well, that was
Endgame.
that Endgame one was bad and problematic in like a big way.
So I was like, okay, like I get that, like okay, like the little girls,
glove.
sure, but like,
You're not into the woman version of stuff.
that's not true.
Okay.
I'm not into.
Be heavy-handed woman.
I'm not into the women having to unite together as a force of multiple women in order to get a job done, because a woman can do a thing by her fucking self. That's the problem that I have.
Can I like be a little bit devil's advocate?
Of course.
Like both like Avengers and Oceans are about people uniting to get a job done. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Men
I don't think
also,
like those
yeah.
two examples are. I get what you're saying, but like specifically those two movies are really about like teaming up and getting a job done.
Yes and no,
As
though,
part of,
because
like, the
Avengers
conceit.
was actually, and they say it in the movie, is that like all of those characters had their own storylines and had their own movies or whatever you want to call
Right.
them, like they're as them being the leaders.
And then they assemble.
And then they at the last minute, right? To like
Reluctantly.
Reluctantly.
to like kill this one guy, and
Yeah.
like instead, which is a very different story from having very different story from having like all of the female characters come in at the very end, and like instead of like in some way, like Pepper didn't have her own fucking story, for example.
Pepper is a garbage character throughout the whole series.
But like all of those lady characters, like Captain Pepper's Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Oh, Gwyneth
Blood
Paltrow.
interest,
Yes, got it.
So
Goop.
like,
Got it.
yeah.
Goop. I like to call her Goop.
But like all of
Very
these
good.
ladies, like
Goop troop.
maybe 30% of them had their own storyline, their own like movies, maybe. Probably not even though. I don't even know. Like I can't even think of
None
it
of them.
actually.
0% of them have
Exactly,
their own
right? So like, they never had like leading
Captain
roles where they
Marvel.
went
Yeah.
and they like
Captain Marvel.
Only-
Captain
What's her
Marvel
name?
is
Yeah.
the one,
Right.
and which came out 2 months before that one.
Right. So it was
So-
like it was a setup to say like, okay, sisterhood,
Definitely.
like, which is like, okay, I get it. Like, yes, women, whatever you want to talk like. The witch covens and like, you know, having a connective like blah 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 between the ladies and like all of it. You can have that conversation all day, but I want to actually see a woman in a leading role who is in a Marvel or a Fast Furious or like one of these kind of franchised movies.
Yeah.
Seizing the day and fucking owning her shit and getting her job done without having to have the support of the entire fucking beehive behind her to do it. Because
I thought Captain Marvel did an okay job at that.
I didn't see Captain Marvel.
yeah, but it was like
Yeah. It's like, time, let's go, boys. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this. I get it, but I get it. But like, better now than that, right? The second best time to plant a tree is today,
sure.
right?
But I think when I think about it, I'm like, okay, so like the young girls of today, what are they
Daryl,
learning? Are they
Daryl,
learning
what's your
that-
question?
Do you think X-Men was trying to do that with like?
Yes, I think X-Men did a really good job with this.
Did we see the new X-Men movie? I didn't see it.
I'm not sure.
X-Men is a much better balanced series.
Yeah.
Than
Hallie.
come on, like from the
She was
beginning,
fucking
Catwoman
awesome.
from
Yeah.
the very beginning.
Storm.
Yeah, Storm.
Yeah.
Storm. Not Catwoman. That was a bad movie.
Also, like, maybe not the best depiction of women. But
But
still!
Storm and the X.
The idea!
That fucking basketball scene? Yes.
What?
When they like play basketball together?
In Catwoman?
But like X-Men
Yes.
was never really
It's
about
great.
being sexy, which was great. Like all the Avenger movies are like sexy, but like come on, the Penguin, like not sexy.
Right.
They're just like interested in like interesting
I'm
stories.
sure where you're going. You're mixing a lot
No,
of stuff.
I follow you. You're saying like the characters themselves, like Catwoman is based around like the physicality of the character rather than like the actual powers.
Well, no, I mean like all of the individual superheroes are like it's not really about like being a sexy save the day kind of person. They're all like slightly more like tortured
right
characters.
and deformed.
Yeah.
Which series are we talking about? Who are we talking
I thought we
about?
were talking about the X-Men.
Okay,
We're talking
X-Men.
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 Oh, I thought we were
Sounds
talking
like-
like Batman.
We're not talking
and
about
shit.
Batman
Oh, okay.
and
No, please talk about Batman
and
anymore.
Penguin. Penguin's gross.
X-Men.
He's a bad dude. Like he eats raw fish. Like
Yeah, like well, that was like that was way back like Tim Burton.
Like tongue.
Also, different Catwoman in that
It's like-
movie.
Wait,
Yeah.
who was the cat?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was not Halle Berry was not in that
No.
movie.
No.
X-Men. Tortured,
X-Men.
unsexy,
Yeah.
like
They're totally,
Deformed
but
characters.
they're fucking totally sexy. All of them
Yeah.
are totally sexy.
Hugh Jackman? Look
Hugh
at that.
Jackman is sexy. What's his name? What's the other guy? Scott. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
The red
Riser, that guy.
not sexy. Come on.
No, he was
All
like,
All right, maybe not to you,
He
but
drove a
like
Mazda.
sexy guy.
he drove a Mazda. They give him Mazda.
Yeah, you
That's
know
his fifth
what?
car.
Sexy. Patrick Stewart's sexy.
No. Patrick
Patrick
Stewart's
Stewart.
a fucking.
Bald
Not
since
that
day
Be a
one.
Blue
bald
wheelchairs.
wheelchair Patrick Stewart, sexy.
Come on.
You know, like those movies are sexy.
They try.
Yeah,
No, but
try
that's the
hard.
thing.
They
It's
try
like,
hard.
I'm
They were
fine.
young.
Let's all be sexy. Let's all have a good time and be sexy.
Oh, all the
That's
movies
all
I think X-Men does the best job of
No.
like
Yeah.
being
Yes. Being inclusive
Yeah,
of all
right, yeah.
types of people.
right.
I'm down, but also be sexy.
Like, let's just take a moment to think about the Avengers and how many how many blonde, blue-eyed Chris's
Yeah.
are in this fucking series.
Yeah, I'm great, and they're all sexy. You know, like my deal is like.
I can't tell them apart
What I'm
anymore.
trying to say is like I don't think there's anything inherently wrong in like being sexy. Like part of it's fun in the movies,
I
right?
don't
Like
think that's what anybody is saying. I
Right.
think that like what the issue is like having that be the reason for the character to exist.
Or the reason that that character is powerful.
Right.
is because they're
It's
sexy.
because they're sexy.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
Chris Pratt,
Yeah.
Captain America, whatever his fucking name is, the other one,
Right.
Right.
the other Chris.
Right.
And so and like, yeah. And
Hemsworth.
what I was gonna say before is like I think that like,
It's like it's coming from the other direction, right? They have like abilities and powers and like smarts and all this sort of shit, and also
Having me good looking.
real sexy, right? Rather than like they're deriving their character from their
Right.
sexiness.
because the sexiness is encompassing of a lot of different things, right? Like yes, sure, like you can whittle it down to like very basic aesthetic appeal or whatever, but I think that there's a lot more that is, you know, all encompassing of a character that makes
Yeah.
them attractive. Complexity, whatever the fuck that you relate to, that you might have some feelings for, like whatever it is, I think that there's more to it. But then when you
Yeah.
have characters that are just very purely like Catwoman, like, you know, hourglass
Yeah.
figure and like lanky as shit and all
Catwoman's not a
whatever.
good example for it.
But-
I-
Sure, but
It's
like,
not a
No.
good example of
Anything.
anything.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not kind of, it's not helpful. Like, I think that sexiness should not just purely be defined by whatever anybody's definition is of aesthetic beauty. Because that's obviously not all that's there, right? So, like, it's not even, to me, it's not even about, like, standard conceptions of beauty and like the certain figure and the certain blonde hair, blue eyed, blah blah blah. Like that's not even it to me. It's like even more so like why is this image the thing that we're focusing on and not like what's behind.
Because like sexy is fun. We're all like sex
But
machines.
this guy's not sexy.
No, but, like,
Hey, I think that he's
We're like,
freaking high.
okay,
Okay,
so-
like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm sorry, like you can do this all day. I think it's great. I think it's great. Excellent. And the cape. Whew. Jeez.
Like,
Hey, sexy.
We all know
sex
this
is
guy
fun, and we're all
is-
like sex machines, right? No, I'm serious. Like we're all sex machines, and we think about sex all the time, and like, sex is super fun.
But yes, but what I'm saying
but the
is like,
sexiest
We're all
of
gonna
them
like
all,
go and have
let's
sex.
just agree, is Mark Ruffalo.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
The
He
rough
does,
stuff.
he does magic, man. He's a magic master.
Because he's a complicated person with a lot of different
Those Now You See Me
multifaceted-
movies, maybe we should watch those. Jesse Eisenberg's the worst, and like fucking Woody Harrelson is the
hate him.
worst.
I like Woody Harrelson. I do not like Jesse Eisenberg.
Lizzie Kaplan, she's okay.
I can't picture what Lizzie Kaplan looks like in my brain.
Mm,
Those are the magic movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over the roof of what?
5
Five
points.
points.
5
Yeah.
points.
R.I.P.
Terrible series.
Yeah.
2, 3.
2 of them.
Wait, there's more than. I think I only
There's
saw
2.
one.
Now You See Me Too.
Now you see me again.
Why did they just call it Now You Don't?
Speaking of unfinished series,
Why didn't you just call
there
it
you go.
Now You
That would have been good.
You never saw it.
I bet they pitched. I bet somebody. No, you don't.
Obviously, they're like, that's a stupid idea. Why the fuck would we ever call it that?
Get out of here.
Speaking of
Now You See Me
great,
Too. Clearly
great
a better.
unfinished series that we should consider watching, National Treasure.
Oh!
It really
Great,
is
great,
the one,
great.
right? It's like if they ever made a National Treasure 3, I think
I'd be there.
Nicolas
Ultimate
Cage's
I think I would just like
best performance
ascend
ever.
into the afterlife because everything good here would be done. You know what I mean? Would be finished.
Nicolas Cage's best work, is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
How many Nick Cage
I mean-
podcasts do you think are out in the world?
many, many.
Just exclusive Cage.
Yeah, exclusively Cage
None.
podcasts.
2?
0.
You think 0?
0?
No.
There's gotta be at
cast.
least-
I think
I
there's
don't
a
think
huge fan base.
Oh,
for
like
it.
the Cage cast.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how
Yeah,
many memes
Caged.
there are alone.
How many what?
Yeah, there's like
Memes.
memes.
There's,
I don't
there
know
are
if
also
there's a
lots of
cast.
Fast and Furious memes, but I'm gonna say at least 5 existing podcasts
I
Like
think that's a
reputable
stretch.
ones.
solely dedicated to the
I
game.
think that's a stretch. I think it's 0.
How many of them are active right now? I don't know, but in existence that people have tried to
Nicolas
start,
Cage's
I'm gonna say
best
at least 5.
I feel like people like to talk about him.
Raising Arizona.
Didn't see it.
Oh, it's fucking great.
What's that
I think I
one?
saw that.
What's the one where he's like a con man pickpocket and he trains
Matchstick Men.
Matchstick
I
Men?
can't believe I have this fucking bullshit in my head.
Wait,
Massive
isn't
Man.
Cage also in
Two
Face Off?
faces.
Yeah.
That's really
Incredible
his best
movie.
work.
Castor Troy.
I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Mm.
Gone in 60
Also
Seconds
good.
is good, which is a movie
Excellent.
we really actually should watch because it's
Yeah.
very car centric.
Right.
Yeah, Eleanor. Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Didn't see
Dreadlocks.
that.
Yeah, with the white dreads.
Talk about.
She looks great in that movie. You know. Giovanni Ribisi. He plays the little brother
Oh.
in that movie. That like
yeah,
weird. He's an
torture.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who? But you know,
What?
I need
Nicolas
to
Cage
find
also plays
out
the
more about Avatar.
Skull
and
Man
something.
with the chain.
Yeah, the Forgotten Marvel movies.
What?
Knight Rider.
Oh.
No, not Knight Rider.
Flamehead. Man.
What's his name?
I think it's not. It's not Knight Rider.
It's not Knight Rider. Knight Rider was a TV series from the 80s.
Oh God, this guy is rough. Just Google Nicolas Cage. Not good. Ghost Rider.
Ghost
Rider.
Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Mm.
Did you? I'm sure you guys all know he's part of the Coppola family.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I think he like purposely doesn't go by that last name, even though he very much should.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
Born
Coppola.
Nicholas Kim Coppola.
Wow.
Coppola? How do you guys?
I say Coppola.
I say Coppola too.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Wowie.
So is Jason Schwartzman.
Yes.
Really?
That one I knew. That one.
Oh.
I mean, I also knew.
They all do kind of look the same.
Coppola.
Yeah.
Huh.
So is Sophia Coppola.
No, but like
No
Sophia-
fucking way.
Sophia Coppola and Nicolas Cage actually look similar.
Yes, because they are relatives by blood.
Wow.
I looked at this family tree before and it really fucked me up.
Nicholas Cage, what are you doing here? How did you get on this list?
Jason Schwartzman.
Was Francis Ford? Is he the patriarch, or was there others before?
There were others
There
before him.
were others.
Yeah.
But he was like of our recent history.
Yeah.
And he's like a big San Francisco
Is he
dude.
dead?
No.
No.
Alive.
Yeah.
Not making movies anymore.
No,
It was
like
like Koyana Scotzi and I'm
He
out.
like puts money towards them if I'm not wrong.
he also has a vineyard
Wow.
in
Right.
wine.
Right.
And
Yes.
he funds a lot of like art and programs
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
Yeah, something to do.